everyone! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Yadi and this is Yadi Angel Art. Before we get started today, I just wanted to very quickly thank you all for your support and for your kindness. This week, this channel made it to 100 subscribers and I am so grateful and so shocked that 100 people watched my videos and clicked subscribe. So I just wanted to very quickly thank you guys. And yeah, here's to many more fun times together. So today, as a bit of a way to celebrate this milestone, I thought that I would share with you guys my art journey and in the process share a little bit more about myself with you guys. And to top it all off, we'll get to paint some witches. So let's get into it. To start things off, I did the sketch first on Procreate so I could figure out the composition of everything first. I'm really excited to show you guys this piece actually. It's one of my first pieces in a while, I feel, that tells a story, and it came out really playful and it was really fun to paint because of that. And I think this will be the first time really that I feel like my traditional watercolor style reflects my digital style a little bit more. Okay, so here's the finished sketch after I transferred it from my iPad to paper. We're almost ready to start painting, just missing one more thing. All right, let's start painting. Okay, so I've been drawing since I was really young. I feel like a lot of us start our childhood that way, creating things with art and everything, so I wasn't much different in that way. I would always carry around composition notebooks and just doodle away in that. And actually, I think like the earliest memory that I've got of drawing is that I was sitting and I was drawing Santa Claus. So I drew a head and I drew I drew a circle for a head and I added arms to the circle and legs to the circle, and then I gave it a big triangle hat because that would make it Santa Claus. So I believe I then turned to my mom and I was like, check it out, I drew Santa Claus. And she was like, well, doesn't he have a stomach? And that blew my mind. I went right back to my piece. I sat down and was like, wow, this is not perfect as I had initially thought. So I then proceeded to draw a big circle on top of the legs, and that gave him the said belly. And I think that is the earliest memory I've got of me improving on my art. So yeah, I would also tell a lot of stories, and I remember sitting like in the car at night, this was before cell phones, and I would tell my brother and my sister a story in the car. So we were bored. There was, nothing to do. It was dark. There was nothing to see. So I would tell them random stories I'd make up on the spot, which I think is like a really great exercise. I should probably try to pick that back up again. But I remember we would pull over in front of the house and I go, well, till next time. And they would both go, no, what happens next? And that was always really fun for me. Then as I grew a little bit older, I would mix my illustrations with my stories, and that's kind of how I would release my creativity. Then I got into high school and things changed a little bit then. I was still drawing, but it was very much like on the side, just whenever I felt like it. The basic theme of my relationship with art up until this point is that I never tried to improve on it mindfully. I would notice things and pick up on ways to improve just from the habit of drawing frequently enough, but I didn't seek new ways to grow as an artist with my art. It was very much of a side thing. It was more of a hobby for me. So in high school, I got into acting, and I decided that that's what I wanted to do for my major in college, and I remember my mom asking me, like, well, what about drawing? You draw all the time. Why don't you consider, majoring in drawing and art and illustration? And I was just like, I can't do that. I'm not good enough. And that was my answer to that. So that was my thinking in high school was, I know all of these like kids in my grade who make way better art than me. There's no way I could pursue art as a career. Like, they're gonna make it, I'm not. So I went to college, I majored in theater, and then I dropped out. Then I got a job as a bank teller working full-time, and I picked up some classes in community college, and I, at that time, majored in psychology. I found it to be really, really interesting, so I did have a good time with those classes. Then I switched my major to behavioral health, thinking I would be like a behavioral specialist with the bank that I was working at. And the classes were still very interesting, but it just didn't feel right for me. I just couldn't see myself pursuing a future in that field. And as I realized that, I thought like, well, man, I can't keep taking these classes then if I can't even see myself in the future doing this. So I found myself really depressed at this time. I didn't know what to do. I wasn't happy at my job, and nobody would hire me without a bachelor's. But I didn't know what to study. Everything I had tried so far just wasn't working out. So I tried to ask myself, like, when was the last time I was happy doing something? And I thought, and the answer was high school. And what I was doing then was drawing. And that's around the time where I started thinking to myself, well, I may not feel like I'm ready to be considered like a professional artist, but all I've got to do is study and like practice and I'll get there. I think in high school I just thought to myself, like, I have no skill to be able to ever attain that level of artistry as a career. And what changed for me was that I thought, well, why not? Like, can't I can draw. If I don't feel ready, then I could just study and then get better. Like, it just seemed like impossible to me in high school. But once I opened up that possibility for myself, I did some research. I joined a program for digital art and multimedia design, and digital art for me was a really, really big step. I actually talked in a previous video about how digital art helped me improve as an artist, so I'm not going to go too much into it here, but I'll link the video in the description below if you're interested. So I got my degree in digital art, and thanks to what I learned in those classes, I've been able to do freelancing work now while I also do these YouTube videos with you guys. Now, I'm not saying necessarily to go to college and take that avenue. This is just what I ended up going through. So, I think what I'm trying to get across here is that for most of my life, I just didn't see art as a possibility for myself. I just didn't believe that I would ever be good enough to share my art and make money from it. For anybody who out there who needs to hear this, just go for it. If you don't feel like you're ready, that's okay. Just believe in yourself. Because even if you're not ready right now, you will be one day. But the first step is building that confidence and really believing that you can get there. So yeah, that was my art journey. I hope it was able to be of some help for you. And here's the finished piece. I had such a blast painting this. I am so excited to have this watercolor piece. I hope you enjoyed it too. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. If you had fun with me today, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you guys next Saturday. Bye!